Welcome to our deep dive on, well, becoming a legal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a whole stack of RoleCatcher resources right here. And it looks like you want to really get into the nitty-gritty of this career path.
Yeah, it seems like you're after more than just a job description. You want the inside scoop.
Exactly. So let's dive right in. What does a legal assistant actually do? Because it feels like it's got to be more than just like filing papers all day.
Oh, way more. Forget those coffee runs and endless stacks of paperwork.
Right.
We're talking about being right in the thick of things, playing a vital role in the legal process.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Paint me a picture. What does that look like day to day?
All right, so imagine this. A big legal battle is unfolding.
Okay, I'm picturing a courtroom drama, like in the movies.
Exactly. But instead of flashy arguments in front of a jury, you're in the war room, combing through massive legal databases like Westlaw and LexisNexis.
Westlaw, LexisNexis, those sound serious.
They are. These databases are like giant libraries of legal documents, case laws, statutes, everything you need to build a rock-solid case.
Wow, so it's like being a legal detective digging through all that information.
That's a great way to put it. You need to be quick, efficient, and know exactly what you're looking for.
So it sounds like you need some serious research and analytical skills, right?
Mhm.
Not just anyone can do this.
You hit the nail on the head. It's not just about being organized. It's about being able to understand complex legal documents.
Like what? Give me an example.
Sure, think about complaints and motions. These are basically arguments being made to the court. You'll be reading and analyzing them, maybe even drafting some yourself, like briefs and pleadings.
Whoa, so you're not just assisting, you're actually creating legal documents.
Exactly. And on top of that, you're the client whisperer. You're scheduling, corresponding, prepping them for hearings. It's a juggling act.
No wonder RoleCatcher highlights active listening, critical thinking, and a solid grasp of law and government. It sounds intense.
Intense is an understatement. You got to be able to absorb information like a sponge, connect the dots, and always be one step ahead.
And probably deal with some tight deadlines too, right?
Oh, absolutely. The legal world waits for no one. You'll be juggling multiple tasks under pressure.
So definitely not a career for those who like to take it easy.
Let's just say it'll keep you on your toes.
But that also seems like part of the excitement, right?
Absolutely. Every day brings something new, a new challenge, and you're constantly learning and growing. Plus, you're playing a crucial role in the pursuit of justice.
That's got to be rewarding. But what about the lifestyle? Because RoleCatcher did mention something about work-life balance. RoleCatcher did mention something about work-life balance. Is that even possible in a high-pressure, fast-paced environment like that?
Well, it's tricky. Like any career, it has its own rhythm.
Right.
You're not always going to be able to just shut everything off at 5 p.m. Things come up, deadlines loom.
Cases get crazy, I bet.
Exactly. But the good news is that more and more law firms and legal departments are starting to recognize that work-life balance is essential, even for their legal assistants.
That's really good to hear. So what's the secret? How do you make it work? What does RoleCatcher recommend?
Organization and time management, they say, are absolutely key.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
It sounds obvious, but honestly, it makes all the difference. You have to be able to prioritize, set realistic deadlines.
Don't be afraid to delegate, maybe.
Oh, for sure. Especially as you gain experience, you might find yourself mentoring newer legal assistants.
Right, like you start as the eager newbie, then you rise through the ranks.
Exactly. RoleCatcher actually outlines a pretty standard career trajectory.
Oh, tell me more.
So you might begin as a legal assistant, right? Lots of research, document prep, client interaction.
Got it.
And then as you gain experience, you can move up to a senior legal assistant role.
Okay, so there's definitely room for growth. What about the salary, though? I mean, be honest, that's a big factor for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. RoleCatcher says it can vary a lot, depends on your experience, location, what kind of law you're into.
Right.
But on average, a legal assistant starting out could be looking at something between $40,000 to $60,000 a year.
Okay, not bad at all.
And if you reach that senior legal assistant level, maybe you get some special certifications under your belt, you could be making upwards of $80,000, maybe even more.
Wow, okay. So the earning potential is definitely there.
Definitely.
And speaking of certifications, RoleCatcher mentioned those a few times. How much of a difference do those actually make?
Huge. They can really open doors.
Really?
Yeah, they're not always mandatory, but having those certifications, it's like...
Like a stamp of approval.
Exactly. It shows you're serious, you know what you're doing.
So you're not just talking about any random online course. What kind of certifications are we talking about here?
Well, there's the paralegal certification from NLA. That's the National Association of Legal Assistants.
Okay.
Or the Certified Legal Assistant Credential, the CLA.
Got it.
And these things, they can boost your earning potential for sure, but they also help you get those more specialized roles.
Because it shows you've gone the extra mile, you've got that specialized knowledge.
Exactly. And a lot of these certifications, they require continuing education.
Oh, so you're staying up to date, which in law, I imagine, is crucial.
Absolutely. Things are constantly changing.
So we've talked about starting out as a legal assistant, moving up to those senior roles. What about going even further? Is that where law school comes in?
You know, that's a common misconception.
Really?
Yeah, some legal assistants, they do decide to become lawyers, go to law school, but a lot of them, they find really fulfilling and, let me tell you, lucrative careers right there on the legal assistant track.
Really? So you're saying you can climb that ladder, specialize, without needing a law degree. Tell me more about that.
Okay, specialized legal assistant roles, no law degree required. Now you've got me really curious. What kind of specialized roles are we talking about? Well, imagine working in a big law firm or even a corporate legal department. You could become a legal administrator.
Legal administrator. Okay, what does that involve?
Think of it like you're overseeing everything, the budgeting, the billing, even the human resources side of things.
Wow, so you're like the behind-the-scenes maestro, making sure the whole legal orchestra runs smoothly.
That's a great way to put it. Or if you're really into efficiency and strategy, you could dive into legal operations.
Legal operations, okay. I'm not as familiar with that one.
So you could become a legal operations manager. You'd be the one coming up with strategic plans, figuring out how to streamline processes, using technology to make everything more efficient.
Oh, so you're not just supporting the legal work, you're actually shaping how it's done.
Exactly. You're ensuring everything's compliant with all the regulations, too. It's a big job.
It looks like it comes with a pretty impressive title, too.
You know it. And for those who are, let's say, a little more entrepreneurial, some legal assistants even start their own legal support businesses.
Really? So they go from assisting to running the show. That's incredible.
It is. They offer things like paralegal services, research, even court filing assistance. They become the go-to for lawyers and firms who need extra support.
That's amazing. It really seems like the sky's the limit. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about landing that first legal assistant job. RoleCatcher had a whole section on interview tips.
Oh, for sure. The interview, that's your time to shine.
Right. Any insider advice? What should our listeners know?
One thing RoleCatcher really emphasized was showing your passion. You really have to convey your interest in the legal field.
So it's not just about knowing the lingo, it's about showing that you genuinely care.
Yes. Let your personality come through, but also be ready to talk about your experience with legal software, your organizational skills.
Right, because those are crucial in this role.
Absolutely. They'll want to know about your ability to handle confidential information, your understanding of legal ethics. Those are big ones.
It's all about being prepared. What about networking? RoleCatcher mentioned professional organizations. Are those important for someone just starting out?
Oh, incredibly important. Joining organizations like NLA, that's the National Association of Legal Assistants, can be a game changer.
How so?
Well, it's a way to meet other professionals, hear about job openings. You'll stay up to date on what's happening in the field, too.
So it's like having a built-in network of support.
Exactly. Plus, they often offer continuing education courses, other resources to help you move up in your career.
So it's not just about finding your first job, it's about your whole career trajectory.
Exactly. And don't underestimate online networking either. Platforms like LinkedIn, those can be really valuable.
All right, got to tap into those online communities.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not just what you know, it's who you know.
Right,
exactly. Well, I feel like we've covered so much ground today, from those core skills to the career paths, and even acing the interview process. As we wrap up this deep dive on legal assistance, is there one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I'd say being a legal assistant, it's not just a job, it's a career. And it's a really rewarding one for anyone who's detail-oriented, passionate about the law,
Right.
and really wants to make a difference.
Because you really are playing a vital role in the pursuit of justice. Any final words of wisdom as our listeners embark on this exciting career journey?
Don't be afraid to jump right in. Volunteer at a legal aid clinic, offer your help at a nonprofit.
That's such a good point. Get that hands-on experience.
Exactly. It's personally rewarding, and it makes your resume stand out.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Pro bono work, remember, folks, it's not just good for the soul, it's good for your career, too. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of legal assistance. We hope you've learned a lot and feel inspired to explore this dynamic field.